Hi guys, Steve Leonard here with Steve's Guided Adventures. We've got a spring Chinook here today on the Columbia River. So we have a fresh fish, and I'm going to show you how to clean a salmon and flay it out. The way that we like to do it, or I like to do it for my customers to get the most out of the fish. A lot of my customers are on my boat say, man, you do a great job, or if I did that, I would butcher it. So I'm going to try to show you how you can clean this fish, save as much as you can out of it, because these fish are a prized fish and they're very good eating, so we don't want to waste any of it. So the first thing I've done is I bled this fish after we caught it. Even though you bonk it, whatever you may do, I cut the throat, cut the gills, and I bleed it out. Any fish I catch, I like to bleed out. I'm gonna come in here, I got my Forstner knife or Victorinox knife. It's a real sharp knife with a stiff blade to it. I like to use it for cutting through the bones in the back and all that. So I'm gonna come in here behind the gill plate. I cut down, I come the other direction, and I take the head off. Okay, so I got my head off. You can save this. Some people like to have the collars out of here. You can take these back collars off and smoke them. A lot of meat in here. You can boil these heads and make salmon soup out of, whatever you'd like to do on that. Then I'll come in here and I knock my dorsal fin off. Come through the bottom. I take my ventral fin and my pectoral fins, and I take those off. Get rid of them. Then I'll come in here and I'm going to slit the belly. Real shallow, so you don't ruin the meat. And this actually has some eggs in it. These eggs are too small to really do anything with, so we're not going to keep these. But if you had a salmon with some big eggs in it that you'd like to keep, you don't want to go real deep and cut into the eggs. You don't want to scar your eggs up. So this particular fish has been hungry. I like to see what he has, and he has a bunch of food in his belly here. So on this particular one, you can see what he's been eating. Look what he has. He's full of smelt. Smelt in the lower Columbia River. They're feeding heavy on him, and anyways, that's what this fish has in his belly, and he still ate a herring with ProCure. So I've got rid of the guts. My cavity is open, and this is what I have at the moment. So you could take this fish and throw it on ice if you wanted at this point in time, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, I'm going to flay along the backbone. So I come in here right above the backbone. I angle my blade towards the backbone a little bit, not too much. This knife is so sharp, it'll actually cut through the backbone. I'm just gonna ride my knife along it. I'm taking the ribs off with it, all the way down to the very end, and I flay it off. And here's the backbone. So I've just angled my knife along that backbone and came off. And that's why I like this knife, is because it'll take the ribs off with it as you make your cut. I'm gonna flip it over. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. And get rid of the backbone. On these backbones, you can take these if you want, and you can brine them, you can smoke them. Some of my customers will take these and they'll take them and put them in aluminum foil with barbecue, or on the barbecue with some butter and a little garlic, and you can pick the meat out of these bones and stuff. It's something that you can do if you don't want to waste it, but there is some meat there. So now I have my fillet. And the reason I like to do it this way is because I'm going to come back now and take my ribs out without wasting any meat. Sometimes on these bigger salmon, if you go to fillet it off the carcass and take it off the ribs all in one piece, instead of filleting it off like this, you'll lose a lot of meat trying to get those ribs out and holding this big fillet and trying to fillet it off of here. So now it's a nice fillet that I can work with. I'm going to come back in underneath my ribs. And I'm just going to fillet a little strip here to get it started like so. Just make a little incision. And I'm going to come back now with my fillet knife, angling towards the ribs. Here's the ribs. I'm not going to go deep into the meat. I want to just follow these ribs like this. And of course, you want to have a sharp knife. And here's my rib meat, or my ribs. And this is what's taken out. You see there's very, very little waste on this. This area right in here is the belly. A lot of oil in here, a lot of omega-3s in here, and people really, really like this. And some people fillet their fish out. They when they go to fillet it, they cut this piece off, and there's a lot of flavor and a lot of meat right here. So I don't like to waste it. I'll come here and trim this off. You can come back if you want the better appearance of it, and I'll come real shallow and fillet this outer skin off. That's the inner belly skin, just like so. And I still have this nice fillet right here so that I can